Here, the biggest thing that I don't like is I see all the shavings that tend to collect on this shelf. So what my plan is to take some of this sheet metal panning. This is just for panning the bays of in between the floor joists for air conditioning ducts, or to turn your floor joist itself into an air conditioning duct. When it takes that, I'm going to form it to that A shape there. I'm going to cut out a trough here in here, tuck it back in and under, and then put a side on there with a little slot here. So that, and then in front of that slot and along the whole length, coming from probably about here diagonally down to here, I'm gonna put this little sheet metal channel. All this is the capping for the tops of windows. It's supposed to go like this. I'm just gonna self-tapper it right onto there at an angle like that. That way you can put a bucket right at the end here and have it empty out into that. I'm also gonna replace that handle that I broke off, which is right here. That there, probably make that out of aluminum. I'm also going to replace this handle here, which is my tensioner for my blade, because if you can see on one side of this here, where is it? There is it. You probably can't see it, but there's a crack in it right there. So that's going south too. All this stuff here needs to be readjusted because I lost all my alignment when I lost this pin. I'm going to find a permanent place to mount this laser sight. So my blade's still good. This isn't a new blade. These here, they're still good, but they're too tight. I have them too tight on the blade. The inside of this, I don't know if the lighting will let you see. I'll turn that around in a second. Yeah. These jaws are going to get modified. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one yet or not, but this one's definitely going to get modified. This one's definitely going to get replaced with that angle iron over there. I'm going to take out the gearbox oil in here, double check all that while I'm at it. This screw has been out there since day one. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. I know this is to adjust the tilt of the wheel inside, the idler wheel inside there. So I'll double check on that. Also, let me set up on the tripod and get this turned around to the light. I'll show you something else. When I first got this thing, both of these pulleys, the drive pulley on the bottom and the idler pulley up top, looked like somebody just took them and dipped them in paint. I had to scrape all the paint off the actual where the blade rides. And also, if you look really close on this top bearing here, looks like somebody put it in with a hammer. See a huge dent in it right there? I mean, it still spins fine and feels fine. But what I did notice is I was having, at one point, trouble with the blade tracking. That's when I found all the paint and everything else. But I went and slapped an indicator on this. This is the drive wheel on the bottom. Let me just see if I can get a decent thing. So we're at 0 right there. So I'm going to mark this spot with a marker there. And I'm going to go ahead and spin it. So right here's a low spot. I'm going back up to 0 right where our mark was. So that low spot is directly a low spot, which is right here. There's my low spot. And right here is where we started. So we're not exactly 180 degrees apart from each other, but we're pretty close. So I don't know if that's running out on the shaft itself or if it's this pulley surface running out. If you look here with this one, you can see, watch this center boss here. See the run out on that? Now that bore is true, at least I think it is. Let me put an indicator on that and see what that one's running out. Can't remember what it was. Alright, so right here is my 0. This one's only running out about 2 thousandths, 2 to 3 thousandths. That I can deal with. That I can definitely deal with. The other 5 thousandths, I don't know. I might try. If I can get this off, or if it's easy to get off, I'm gonna try pulling this off and just throw it in the lathe. See if I'm running out from the bore itself, if I'm running out on the edge, or if I'm running out on the shaft itself. I just want to know where it's coming from, and if I can take it out, then I will. It's making my saw jump because, and you can see I do have a wear line. This shiny line, that's where those idler wheels grab. So they're grabbing incorrectly, and I also have another wear line right above those teeth. That's coming from the pulley, and you can see at certain points, like here's the inside of the pulley, you can see my pulley contact here. Yeah, it's kind of, here, let me see if I can get a better light. You can see my pulley contact right between here and here, and then it gets lighter as it goes. Right here is a wear mark on the inside of the blade. That I believe is the weld. That right there is the weld seam. Every time it comes around and hits this weld seam, it tends to want to jump on those pulleys. So I want to see if I can get that 5 thousandths out of it. It's worth a shot. So that's the plan of attack. Alright, I managed to get that pulley off, and now we're moment of truth. We're going to see if we're running out on that shaft or that pulley. I would much rather run out on the pulley, because that's a lot easier to fix. You definitely are now, though. That's my key slot. And there we are, 90 degrees or 180 degrees to the key again. Alright, so at least that's one good thing. So my run out is definitely on this pulley. Now to figure out if it's running out from the hole or running out from the edge. I think it's the edge, but we shall see. The lathe here, and I have no way of really, because this cast surface is so rough, I mean I can grab it like this here, but it runs out way too much. I need to see where that run out's coming from. So the only actual machine surface that I have is this outside edge. So I'm going to have to grab it by that edge. Now to do, obviously the chuck doesn't open up enough, so what you have to do, don't ever leave that in the key. These are reversible jaws, unlike a regular chuck that'll have 2 separate sets of jaws. To reverse them, you got to pull these out, put the other set in, or realign the scroll. This doesn't have that. These jaws are actually bolted to a set of master jaws, which are these here. These top jaws will come off, you flip them around, bolt them back on. Also, you can get all different kinds of jaw sets. You can get what are called soft jaws, which are basically aluminum jaws that you can machine whatever way you want to be able to hold a certain part for production work and stuff like that. You're going to be repeating work. In this particular chuck is an adjust true. Your hex key that controls your adjustments also fits your jaws, so break them loose. And if you'll notice too, they're numbered, matching sets, 1 and 1, 3 and 3, 2 and 2. They have to go back that way. So let me get to reversing these and we'll see if we can get this in. There we go. So now I should be able to that's just about the capacity of this lathe, and actually this chuck too. We just clear. Alright, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna indicate the outside here. I'm gonna get that running true, and then I'm gonna indicate the bore and see if there's a difference between them. Let me get my indicator set up here and moved around to where you can see it. Okay, I have the indicator rigged right up on the top of the pulley there. I'm gonna have to pick it up over the jaws here, but we'll mark this spot with our marker here where we're gonna start. And we'll spin it around. Now I was getting about 5 thousandths run out on the machine, so let's see what we get here. I'll lift it up and over that jaw. Whoop. Make sure I start back at 0. So there's my run out right there. We're high there. Mark the high spot. And back to 0. Alright, so I'm going to work these here until I get that to no run out. Alright, I got that all tweaked in. So now, this was my high spot before. There's like a little divot right there, but I think that's just in the cast itself. So we're running pretty true except for that one tiny spot, which that I can deal with. Now, I'm going to get one of my other indicators and sweep this bore and see what we get on that. Alright, I got my indicator set up to sweep the bore. I have my high spot, well, where we found our high spot, set to 0. I'm going to spin it to my low. That's the key And there's the low spot. Low spot. And we're hitting a low spot in the bore. So our bore is off a little bit. Let me see if it's perpendicular at least to the pulley. Just feeding the carriage in, see if it slopes up or down. And it doesn't, so let me see visually how we look on this thing. Now look at it. You can see how off that is there. This piece is the bore is off of that. Look at that. I just gotta figure out a good way to straighten this out. I think what I'm gonna do, just to double check all my measurements, I'm gonna see if I can press fit a rod through this and dial the rod in, and then sweep the outside of this and see if we still have that amount of run out. If we do, maybe I can just skim this and take care of it that way, rather than trying to screw around with the bore.